uppercut, uppercut, sonic boom! Well, hello there, humans of these earthlings, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too, welcome back to the channel. I'm Bushka, and if you haven't already figured it out, I do a lot of PUBG Mobile videos that break down the weapons, the stats, the secrets, and the things that really make the PUBG Mobile meta tick. If you're interested in that, stick around, because we're going to do that for the MG-3, a gun that for the longest time I feel I may well have underrated. And there's a lot of reasons for that. We're going to break that down as well. But I'm going to give you the basic stats of it, all that kind of thing. But more importantly, I'm going to talk to you about how you can be successful with the MG-3. And this may take a minute, so sit back and listen, because there's an interesting story behind my relationship to this weapon. You see, the way I make PUBG Mobile videos is very organic. I'll play for 2, 3, 4 hours, and then I will take that video file, the gameplay file, I will put it into my editing suite, Final Cut Pro, and I will just cut the clips out of that. I don't usually make gameplays from them. I will cut the clips until I have interesting clips for interesting weapons or interesting situations. And those clips will inform the kind of video I'm gonna make. Like if I have a bunch of grenade clips pop up on my timeline, I'm like, you know what? I should probably do a utility video about how you can get the most out of a molly fragmentation grenade combo, or how you can rotate late circle like I did here. And that way I'm always making content that is actually fresh for me, things that I am doing in game. And one of the crazy things when I went back and looked at the file called MG-3 was that there was win after win after win after win, including this absolute banger here. This is me coming into a final circle versus 5 other grubs. And it's everything I think the MG-3 is. The incredible, annoying, devastating, dangerous reload mechanic that takes forever. But then the ability to output so much damage in free fire when you're fighting multiple enemies. And then the reliance on a secondary slot weapon in the middle of CQ3 because you can't reload it. It's all right there. 22 kill, 3K monster. So what is it about this gun that makes me think I underrated it? Well, it's the fact that in all these clips, I'm winning. And I'm not doing anything that I don't do with most weapons. In fact, what I'm doing with the MG-3 is that when I start using it, just like I would any other gun, like an M416 or a SCAR-L or a UMP, it does that job. Like, people don't realize this, but if you pop it down to 660 and go prone, look at the damage we're chunking into the people in that car. And even though we use all our ammo, we take 2 out and nearly clear a 3rd, who is then cleared by my amigos. You can put it at 660, put a red dot or a 3X or even the iron sights on it, and it is so good. Which is a surprise, because the one thing the MG-3 doesn't have is a big damage round. It just fires a lot of them really, really fast. But when you put it at 660 rounds per minute, well, then you're getting into the territory of guns like the M416, like the SCAR-L. The SCAR-L and the M4 both clock out at 638 rounds per minute. The MG-3 can fire at 990 rounds per minute, which is great when you want to clear stuff in reasonably close proximity. And the iron sights on this are absolutely no joke. They are absolutely no joke. They are some of the best iron sights in the game. Right up there with the AKM and the M4's iron sights, in my opinion. What it's so great for is that CQC hip-fire combo, switching from ADS to hip-fire, ADS to hip-fire, without having to take a reload. Because although at 990 rounds per minute, it burns a lot of ammunition, my God, does it output a lot of damage. The rounds on the MG-3 are 40.0 base, which is not a lot. That is slightly under the M4's 40.9 and slightly above, say, an SMG like the Vector. Not the Vector, sorry. The Bison, for instance, which is 38.8. The obvious difference is the incredible rate of fire. Having that kind of rate of fire, coupled with one more thing, fantastic bullet speed at 900 meters a second. This is genuinely your 5.56 AR bullet speed, which is really, really rare to get in a 7.62 weapon. It's just a hell of a thing. And you can mitigate the bad parts of the gun. Sure, it's horrific for reloading. The reload is an obvious issue. At 7 seconds for a reload, it is genuinely diabolical. But like anything, you can mitigate. What do I mean by that? Well, you can see here, I am running barrel and MG-3. This is from the game earlier where I had the 22. And it means that you have one big bite at the cherry in any engagement where you can pre-fire all the way through your mag or your drum or whatever the hell it is with the MG-3. And then you can switch to a normal good weapon like an M762 to finish everything off. And there are certain loadouts like this. Like my favorite one is MG-3 and Mark 14. That is a nutso loadout. That is such a heavily tilted CQC loadout. Running it like this, where it's MG-3 and Car 9, I would only recommend in squads or solos. Because in squads or solos, you can, by that I mean when you're with a squad or you're running solo, like solo versus solo. Not when you're running solo versus squad, obviously, or even duo versus squad. Because when you've got more than one person next to you, you can move and shake with them. Like the Mark 14, running the Mark 14 and the MG-3 is absolutely golden. You get to use the Mark 14 as often as you like, and then if you need to, you can just switch out to this thing and start carving holes in people. I also think that people try to do it too much in the same vein as an M416. You don't need to run a 3X or a 6X on this to be effective. It has a real affinity for a red dot. If you run an MG-3 with a red dot, you can just switch it to 660 at range. That motorbike, my God, that motorbike, it's not going to talk back again. Jeez, snap straight into the motorbike. And you can see in this role, I'm running it with an AUG and MG-3. You wouldn't expect it to be a big deal, but that's what I'm running it with. And you've got to be more careful on your pre-fires with the MG-3. I've got 20 rounds left. That's going to be all of it by the time I'm done here. You can see down to 2 rounds. If he wasn't done, we were in trouble if we didn't have an AUG. But running multiple ARs or running multiple automatic weapons is just grand. Here's those iron sights again. Very, very nice. The Sky Huntress MG-3 is the one that I'm using in some of these, the one that I use permanently now, which is very, very cool. It's got the nicest skin and the best, you'll see what I mean here. See that looks awesome, doesn't it? That's so cool. I think I'm just going to run this more, which is crazy. I tend to run bolt action rifle and AKM. And I do that because I feel like I can survive with an AKM in a bolty more. But, geez, this is great. This is just such a great gun. And it's funny that I've got to go and remind myself. I think one of the great joys that we have in PUBG Mobile is that there are so many different ways to add up 2 + 2 and get 4. You don't have to be the vanilla gorilla in the meta. You don't have to just run DBS M4. You don't have to just run UMP M4. You can run whatever you want and you can make it work for you. And I think we should start celebrating those differences in PUBG and really getting the most out of our guns instead of just, you know, whinging and moaning because we got killed by a DBS. Run something that you think you can turn into an advantage. And for me, the MG-3 has consistently delivered the advantage in PUBG Mobile. And I think that if you start running this more and utilizing that 660 rounds per minute, you'll probably have a lot better time. And only run it like this with a bolty in solos. You can see 1v1, great, MG-3, you can live with it. If that had run out and there was 2 people there, not so much fun. I'm Bushka. Don't forget to like the videos, subscribe, join in the conversation, join in the community, and have a hell of a day out there in 2025. Until next time, look after yourselves and stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now, team.